Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make 10 DIY school supplies. If you enjoy this video, please click that like button and comment down below with any future video suggestions you might have. If you're not already subscribed and would like to see more fun DIY videos, please click that subscribe button. The first DIY I will show you is how to make a Rolos pencil case. So to make this Rolos pencil case, you will need a gift wrap tube like this. Mark off at 8 inches and then cut that out. With the piece I just cut, I made another marking at 1.5 and then I cut that off. At this point, you should have two pieces that look like this. With a piece of sandpaper, just sand down any rough edges. With a piece of brown foam, I made two markings, one at 4.5 and one at 2. I connected those and then cut that out. Apply hot glue to one of the edges and then glue the two edges together. With a piece of heavy cardstock, poster board, or a piece of foam, apply some glue to the bottom of the big tube and to the top of the small tube and glue that to the cardstock, poster board, or piece of foam. Cut off any extra paper that is beneath the cardboard tubes. Place the piece of brown foam into the longer cardboard tube, leaving about 3/4 of an inch showing. Place some hot glue on the foam to secure it to the cardboard tube. Next, you will need some gold foil. I'm going to use these candy wrapper foils, but you can also use the gold foil for gift wrapping. Wrap one of the squares around the top so it resembles a Rolos packaging. Unfold the wrapping from inside, place some hot glue around it to secure the gold foil to the cardboard tube. And here is what my top looks like. Do the same thing on the tall tube, but this time apply it to the bottom of the cardboard tube. Next, you will need to print out this printable and cut it down to size. I will leave a link down below to where you can print this out. Apply some hot glue to the label and then secure it to the tube. And that is how you make a Rolos candy pencil case. For the second project, I will show you how to make a Hubba Bubba eraser. With an X-Acto knife, carefully cut down the front side in the center and then do the same thing on the back. Once the label has been carefully cut, you can open it up and enjoy the gum inside. For the next part, you will need 2 of these pink eraser clay pieces. You will just want to roll those together and then with a rolling pin, roll them out. Once it's rolled out, start cutting strips the same size as the bubble gum. What I did was I just took the excess, rolled it back together, rolled it out, and cut more strips until I had enough that I could make a big long strip of bubble gum. had enough pieces cut out, I started joining those together and smoothing out the edges where they met. Next, I just rolled it up. Once I had it all rolled up, then I baked it according to the package instructions. And here is mine after it was baked. You can then just put it in the case, and the part that's sticking out, if you want to close it completely, you can just tuck that in. And that is how you make the Hubba Bubba eraser. Number 3 is going to be Bubblegum Pens. To make this, you will need a pack of bubble gum. You want to slowly begin by tearing the flat part off so you don't wreck too much of the wrapper. Enjoy the gum inside and save the wrappers. Next, you'll need a piece of pink cardstock paper, and then you'll want to measure out the wrappers to get the correct size. Take the measurements from the wrapper and mark that off onto the pink cardstock. Then you will just want to cut that out. You will need 2 of these for each stick of gum you want to make. I'm going to use the ink from one of these mini pens. Cut the ink down to size so it fits in the wrapper. Apply some hot glue to one piece of the pink cardstock, place the ink on that, and then glue the other piece of pink cardstock to that one. Trim down one side of the wrapper, place your pen inside, and then secure it with some hot glue. Now you can add them back to the bubblegum pack and you have your very own bubblegum pens. For the 4th projects, these are super easy candy bookmarks. I'm going to use the packages from these gums. Anything that is made from the cardboard candy packaging will work well for this. Trim the box down so you're left with just one side. With a hole punch, punch a hole into the cardboard. With a piece of ribbon, cut it down to size and thread it through the hole that was punched. Tie it into a double knot, and then you will have your very own candy bookmark. For the 5th DIY school project, I will show you how to make licorice pens. For this, you will need red polymer clay and a star tip that you can find in the baking aisle. Roll half the clay into a ball and then into a tube shape. Place it into the star tip and start pushing it through. I used a Sharpie marker to push it through. Once you have a long enough piece, just break it off and then just trim down the end so it looks like the size of licorice. With a wooden skewer or a toothpick, make a hole into one side of the clay, and you'll want to make it deep enough or long enough for an ink barrel to fit through. I will be using the ink from one of these mini pens. If you don't have one, you can just cut some ink down to size. Place the ink into the clay and then trim it down to size. Start twisting it so it looks like licorice. Then bake it according to the package instructions. Once it's been baked and cooled, you can add the ink to the clay, and if you want, you can secure it with hot glue. Mine was pretty snug so it didn't fall out. And that is how you make licorice pens. For the next project, I will show you how to make licorice erasers. For this, you will need some eraser clay. I'm going to use this kind right here. And you will need the red piece, and you will just want to do the same thing as with the licorice pens and push it through the star tip. Once that's been done, trim it down to size and bake it according to the package instructions. Here is mine after it was baked, and this is how it works. The 7th DIY comes from a previous project I made, So after this video, I invite you to head on down to the link below and check out my candy pens. For the 8th DIY, I will show you how to make a push-pop pencil case. This one you will also need a piece of gift wrapping tube. You will want to mark it off at 8 inches and cut it out. This one will be similar to the Rolos, but a little bit different. Top on this one, you will want to mark it off at 2 inches and then cut that off. Sandpaper to get rid of any rough edges. For the bottom on this one, I'm going to use a piece of pink foam. I just applied some hot glue around the bottom of the cardboard tube, glued it to the foam, and then cut off any excess. For the top, I'm going to use a piece of white cardstock. Cut out a piece of pink foam that is 4.5 by 2. Place some hot glue on the edge and glue the 2 edges together. Place the piece of pink foam into the larger cardboard tube, leaving about 1 inch showing. Apply some hot glue around the foam to secure it to the cardboard tube. On this one, only the top will need to be painted. You can either use spray paint or acrylic paint. At the bottom, you will need one of these printables. I will leave a link down below where you can print it out. Once it's printed out, then just cut it down to size. For this one, I'm going to secure it with some Elmer's glue. The next thing I did was I just secured it to the cardboard tube. Once the top is dried, you can place it onto the bottom of the cardboard tube, and that is how you make a push-pop pencil case. For the 9th project, I will show you how to make candy notebooks. For this one, you will need a cardboard candy box. And what you'll want to do is you will just want to cut off the flaps and then cut down one of the sides so it has the folder look. Next, you will need some binder paper. You will want to measure the inside of the box and then cut the binder paper down to size. You will want to cut enough sheets to where you have a big enough notebook. Here are mine after I was done. I'm going to use some binder clips to secure those in place. And then with some Elmer's glue, I'm going to apply that to the top. And with a paintbrush, I'm going to smooth it out. This is how I'm binding the notebook together. Let that dry for 24 hours, and then I removed the binder clips. I applied some Elmer's glue to the candy box and glued the notepad to that. And that is how you make candy notebooks. For the last and final project, I am going to show you how to make a gummy worm pencil case, and you can eat the gummy worms. For this, you will need 2 sheet protectors. Start by cutting off the sides of both sheet protectors. Next, you will need to find a hard surface you can stick between the sheet protector. I'm going to use this small cutting board. Mark off halfway down the sheet protector and then cut on that line. With a pair of scissors, cut down the sides of the sheet protector, making sure to only cut through one layer of the sheet protector. What you have at this point, essentially you should have a flap. On the second layer, or the long part of the sheet protector that is still left, mark it off halfway. From the edge to the marking that is halfway, take an X-Acto knife and cut that off diagonally. You will want to repeat the same process on the other side. Here is what it should look like. You will want to repeat the same steps with the other sheet protector. Fold the flap over so it looks like an envelope. Hot glue around all 4 sides of the sheet protectors to glue the 2 together. the sheet protectors are clear and you can see the hot glue, I'm going to use some of this rainbow duct tape to finish off the sides. For the bottom, measure off enough tape to fit across the bottom, then tape it to the front side, fold it over to the back side. Then just trim off any excess. For the size, measure out enough tape to fit, fold the piece in half and cut at a 45-degree angle. Then place the point on the bottom of the tape of the front, trim off any excess, and fold it over to the back. By making the 45-degree angle cut, it gives it more of a cleaner look when it's done. For the top, take a piece of tape long enough to fit across, cut it in half, take half of it and tape it to one side, and then the second half to the other side. To give it a cleaner look, I drew diagonal lines, and then with a pair of scissors, I cut on that diagonal line. To hold the flaps in place, I'm going to use some of these small circle pieces of Velcro. And to finish it off, I just cut out some small pieces of the tape, and then I covered up that piece of Velcro. Now for the fun part. Take some gummy worms and then just add those to one side, and then the other side you can add your pens and your pencils. And that is how you make a gummy worm pencil case. I hope you guys enjoyed these 10 DIY school supply ideas. I would love it if you gave this video a thumbs up. Let me know which one your favorite was in the comments. Until next time, I hope you guys all have an amazing day.